Okay. Well, hey, grab a seat. I'm going to talk into a microphone, even though normally I would not talk into a microphone in a meeting like this, simply because we're going to record it, because there's a lot of people that wanted to be here today, but some were traveling, some were just unable to make it this early. So we're going to record this, put it on our podcast so that anyone can join in. Well, welcome to our first rally. If you're wondering what a rally is, it's basically a pre-service time for us to connect, pray, to invest in you, for you to connect with one another, and then for us to get any special info we need into your hands and then get you in position to serve that morning. So some churches might just call it pre-service prayer. Some churches call it whatever. But for us, there's this concept that's been in my heart for a while. That when we did our Exodus series, if you were here the morning I taught on Jethro and Moses. Jethro was Moses' father-in-law, and he saw Moses doing like all of the judging, all of the leading, all of the coordination, and Jethro told him, what you're doing is not good. And they said, gather people together, appoint some leaders, create some teams, get organized so that this thing can last, right? And so that you don't implode, basically. And so I've got a couple of slides this morning. In case you are wondering, we've been using this language lately. Why does City Church exist? We exist. Can you have somebody on slides? Advance this slide. We exist to help people basically find Jesus, to follow Jesus, and to flourish. And those concepts, we're really learning what they mean better and better each Sunday when we gather, each week when we're together in homes. But teams are how you can join in that mission to help people find Jesus, follow Jesus, and flourish. Everyone has a heart to help. If you're here today, it's because you said, I'm already helping, or I'm ready to help even more, and I want to do ministry. So if you want to know what is the secret of teams, is that it's the work of the people. It's the ministry of City Church carried out through you. And most of you are already doing that, but we're doing it in a way that's been very organic, but not always the most organized. And some of you have longed for that administration, that organization, and so we put a lot of thought into this. But let me just say this, why teams, in case you're wondering, why do we need this? Why does City Church need this? So if we're going to help people flourish, and I'm going to talk today in the sermon about this, really unpack this concept, that we want to help people just be fully alive and growing. And I think the most powerful thing you can do to grow is to serve someone else, to serve God and to serve someone else. And really, that's the very, if we could summarize the New Testament and what Jesus taught, it was to love the Lord with all your heart, to love your neighbor as yourself. I display love for neighbor when I serve my neighbor. I have a neighbor on one side who's in her 80s and a widow, and I help her as often as I can, and she knocks on our door all the time for help, and that's totally fine, totally okay, and that's the love that we carry for her, is to help her. Sometimes it's with her phone, sometimes it's with opening a jar. But I think we grow best when we serve others. And I think that's why you're here today. I think that's maybe why you're listening to this, because you're ready to grow to a deeper level in your relationship with Christ and have an outlet for the ministry and the gifts that he's put in you. Another thing is, not only do we grow by serving others, but we actually grow best in community. So rather than having a concentrated effort of people that well, I help Rusty light the candles. I help Rusty do a greeter. I help Rusty make the coffee. And I'm a solo act, and I do it by myself. And I don't get the support or the investment that I need, but I'm willing to do the job. And we know that leads to frustration, that leads to burnout, that leads to, and I've seen it at our church, where a person, goes solo because they're passionate, and they do it by themselves, and it doesn't last. It just doesn't last. because they try to do it maybe every Sunday and make that their job. And then they're like, I can't miss a Sunday or else things won't happen without me. And then, crap, I don't like that pressure. I don't like that weight that's being all. So to have a team and to grow in community of people that are also doing it alongside of you, who are also relieving you, rotating with you, who have a common mission with you, is where we think like we really grow best, because they can help us get better. They can have ideas to help us improve. Another thing is we grow strong when we align our strengths, our gifts, and our passions with God's work. And I think there's a missing component to our church that's just like, how do I get involved with something I really care about? And some of you guys, what you care about the most is serving the marginalized people, serving under-resourced people. Some of you, what you care about the most is having an outlet for your creativity. Some of what you care about the most is just eye contact, which you might not get during the week if you work remotely and you're never in the same room as someone else. You're like, I just crave connection, right? So we each have a strength, a gift, a passion, a reason why we love our church and why we do what we do, why we're passionate, why we love Jesus, and why we want to serve him. And so we want there to be outlets for your gifts, your personality, and opportunities for that. And the other thing, just a little like, because I'm taking biblical Greek, and so I can't help but not nerd out sometimes about it, is because when we grow fast, when we surrender these are two words for time, we surrender our time. Now, the Greek word chronos means chronological time, timeline, linear time. When we surrender our linear time to God's kairos time, which means a moment of impact. Like Laura, the day she got hit by a dump truck and run off the road and almost pushed into a Salt Creek. That was a kairos moment for her, for our family, a time for God to intervene, a time for us to love one another and rally together and experience. It wasn't about the linear time anymore because time stood still, and now it was this moment of opportunity to, So there are things where sorry I'm sweating. I just haven't recovered from setup yet. Okay, so the other thing is this, is that everyone that walks through the door, so we want you, that's why we're doing teams, so you can grow, so you can be fully alive and growing. Everyone that walks through the door has a different level of belonging here. And you might feel like you are so committed or at the very core of our church, and that's awesome. And you feel welcome here, and you feel comfortable here. But to people in the community who walk through the door and are willing to maybe join the crowd that attends on a Sunday, it's like, who is being intentional about inviting them into a deeper level to get connected, to find Jesus, to follow Jesus, to flourish? Who's helping them take a step towards being not only in our congregation, but being so rooted in a community where they're loved and known and where they have a sense of belonging, right? That's the goal. The goal on Sunday is for everyone to belong so that they can actually experience the gospel through our people, through our service, through our music, through our preaching, through our technology stuff that we're broadcasting out. I look at our YouTube channel sometimes, and we actually, it's stupefying because we'll have like hundreds of views on a service. And I'm going, the ministry that we actually are doing here is it matters. I had a church the other day in New Orleans, Louisiana, a huge church called Church of the King. I mean, it's like tens of thousands of people in like multiple locations. And they said, we're dreaming of starting a downtown New Orleans campus, but we don't know how to interact with people that live under a local overpass, and we desperately want to reach them. And we heard about you. Can we set up a phone call? Because we want to know how are you doing what you're doing in Charleston? We are dreaming of doing. And I'm like, we're just this little church that meets in a bar. What do you mean you want to talk to me? You want to interview me to your mega church? And it's amazing and so special what God's doing here that at times we can almost take it for granted. We can, until we start sharing the story of what's happening here, and people go, what? That's such a special, unique community. God's really doing something incredible. And so in an effort to get organized and to get everyone moving into a deeper sense of belonging and everyone activated in ministry, we're starting to formalize our process and call it teams. I didn't want to have a cute name like Serve Team, Ministry Team, M Squad, Dream Team. There's all these corny names that churches are using that you would be embarrassed of to tell your unchurched friends what you do at church. I'm on the M Squad at church. Like, what is that? What? It's the ministry squad of the church. Like, no, dude. So I serve on a team, right? Same thing with groups. Like, we have all these cute names for groups: life group, community group, small group, and it doesn't translate to the unchurched world. And so we're trying to just simplify things, and we're going to do a rollout like this for our groups and just call them groups. Just groups. That makes sense to my unchurched neighbor, James McCorkle, who I reference, and he's like the litmus test for anything I do. Will my unchurched neighbor who does site development and construction and lives in Hollywood, will he understand what we're doing? Would he appreciate what we're doing? Or would he roll his eyes about it and go, what a waste of time? So formally, here are the teams that we are hoping to begin to schedule, organize, rally around. And also, these are some expanded duties. So I'm going to run through these quickly. But notice, so let's say you're a greeter. Greeters are up first. Let's say you're a greeter and you're like, I've never done that before. That's because we are just trying to expand the ministry that you do. So what do greeters really do? Greeters welcome everyone and make them feel at home. Most people, Lauren Michael, who's been here for years since the beginning, said the reason I came back to City Church is because the person at the table said, "See you next week, Lauren," and they knew my name. They met me earlier that morning and they knew my name at the end of the service, and they expected me to come back, and they said my name. So a greeter 10 plus years ago is the reason one of the core member of our church comes here. So what do greeters do? They greet everyone at the front door. Now, we want to try to formalize this process from greeters being in position from 30 minutes before church starts, 15 minutes before church starts, to 15 minutes after we've started. Why? Garrett and I see it every week, is that new people are either early or on time. Our people that layers of belonging, the people that are our core, are committed, they're 10 minutes late. And no one welcomes them. And then people that are brand new to City Church come early, and no one is even here yet. And it's an awkward ghost town. And we're like, we've got some coffee. So we want to be intentional about reaching the community, reaching the city, and inviting them in when they arrive early or on time. So we want to have greeters in position. We want to help people by answering questions. Or what if they're 10 minutes late and they're just frazzled? I didn't know where to park. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the place. Okay, let's help you find a seat. Service has already started. Now, what I think works great is kind of size them up and look for someone like them in the room. If it's it's like a young 20-something girl by herself, look for our other 20-something girls and seat her with them, right? If it's a guy, don't seat him with them, okay? But if it's a family, try to seat them near another family. It's what they do at restaurants. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when I go to home team with my family, they put us in the special room that's only for families so that we don't upset anyone else that doesn't have a bunch of kids, right? So there's a kids. Anyway, so we try to put people together, right? What else are we going to do? this is a new thing for us, is we're going to take attendance. We've been trying to actually measure what matters. We've never been a take attendance church. Can I just tell you this? We had 130 at Easter. We had 121 last Sunday for the baptism. These are record numbers that we wouldn't know if we didn't take attendance and just count who's in the room. It was unbelievable what God's doing. And we can actually report out and share that testimony with others. And they go, your church is growing. I want to be a part of that. That's amazing. The other thing is we've got the connections table I got to wrap up. I got to go quick. We've got a connections table that is currently, there's some stuff on it, but that's the table for new people. Direct them to get a parking pass, to get a Connect card, to answer questions. It's where I'm going to direct everyone to go that's new every Sunday. And we want our greeters that already met the people. Hey, Lauren, what's your name? Lauren, great to meet you. I'm going to be at the table after service. Come and let's connect. I want to answer any questions you have about our church, or say, hey, see you next week, Lauren, right? So we want that to be a greeter. Next up, the team we have is coffee. Coffee team. We've never had a coffee team. It's just been me making the coffee. But we want people that love coffee, they're passionate about coffee, to come, set up, tear it down, brew. Maybe if you're an introvert that doesn't want to be, being a greeter would totally freak you out, coffee team is perfect. Or if you're a heavy introvert, you want to serve and kind of behind the scenes secretly, our technology team that currently is like a middle school and an elementary school boy, which are awesome, but also like last Sunday, Luke was sick and he stayed home. We're like, what do we do? Our 6th grade volunteer isn't here. So we're trying to build a team around that. Garrett's going to be training you for technology. Our readers are, I've gone back and forth. We call these lay readers. At times we've called them liturgists. Just simply put, their read. What do? They read scripture, they guide the liturgy, they're going to help set up and tear down the communion table. And they're going to start, what I'd like to do is for our readers to be helping with communion as well. We probably, if you've noticed, we had 121 people in one chalice. Communion took forever, and Garrett's just playing music like, what do I do? The line just keeps going. We're out of songs. And so we need more communion stations. Our prayer team, you see them, Jackson, Mims, they're already active in the corner. And we want to expand what we do with prayer to where we're able to give a prayer request during the week to where it can get to people, to be covering them in prayer, where we're covering our room in prayer before, as the rally starts or during that worship song, where we're actually praying for everyone to experience God, to be available during the service. And then when it's appropriate to follow up with somebody, just shoot them a text, hey, I'm still praying for you. How'd that job interview go? We've been praying about it since Sunday, right? And so what's going on? I would love to get, the next team is kids, city kids. You hear us dismiss them every week. Most of you don't know where they go or what they do. They go to the Children's Museum of the Low Country and have an age-appropriate Bible story, an activity, and some free play, just so that gathering as God's people, even as kids, is fun. We want them to have fun. So I think it's the most fun team to serve on. And then I would say our most needed team is our venue crew. Do you have a slide for venue crew or our setup and tear down? Maybe this name is a little too cute and I need to change it, simplify it. If you're embarrassed to be on the venue crew, we'll change it to just the crew. But what do? You serve in the venue, helping set up, tear down. When people come in late and we realize we don't have enough chairs, and we're like, whose job is it to go and get it? Or who knows how to do that, right? So we want to really have there to be a space for that. So what does the process look like if you're listening to this or you're in this room and you're like, okay, how do I join? What's the expectation going to be of me? Well, number one, we want you to join a team. And I'm okay with you joining multiple teams if that's sustainable for you and something that brings life to you. But we want you to commit to serving 1 or 2 Sundays a month, which most of you already do in some fashion. We want it to be kind of a lightweight and low maintenance thing that you're bringing, but also purposeful. We want you to get some training if you need it. We don't want anyone to feel like, I'd love to help, but I just don't know what to do. we'd love for you on the days that you're serving to come early for the rally. Our rallies are going to be at 9:30, so 30 minutes before church. We're going to stop everything. We're going to do this. We're going to touch base, have a worship song, pray for the morning, get any special info we need, and then I'm going to bring some encouragement and some investment to our team each morning. And we want you to invite your friends. That's the most important thing. The reason City Church is what it is because you have invited your friends into the process because they sit with you on Sundays. So what would a normal Sunday, I want to skip to the Sunday timeline because I hit rally. So Sunday timeline, this is what our Sunday morning kind of looks like already, but it's typically Garrett, me, and Q doing all of this. And that's why usually when you see me, if you come in at 9 o'clock and I look overwhelmed or I'm super sweaty, this is why, because we usually arrive at 7, we start doing load-in. The worship team, load-in is usually set up the tech booth, set up the stage, start getting the chairs. The worship team has a run-through, and then what we're trying to do, though, is to push setup all the way back to 9 o'clock to where you could actually come and it not be like brutal for you to serve. So come an hour before, come at 9, help get the chairs out, put them out, get the coffee going, get the tech booth set up, and then by the time you finish, it's time for the rally. And then you worship a little bit, see your friends, grab a cup of coffee, pray, and then if you're on the venue crew, then you just hang out. Like, cool, I'm done. I'll be watching for if we need more chairs. Coffee's going to be kind of keeping it stocked. Technology's going to kind of go to work. And then, but if you're on one of the other teams, greeters, city kids, all that stuff, if you are serving in kids, you might miss the sermon that day or you might miss worship that day. So we want to have the rally be really a time of spiritual investment in your life. So 9:45, head to the team areas. So like if you're a greeter, in position, coffee in position. And then our worship service, if you've ever wondered, we've been trying to start so prompt at 10, and we've been trying to end so prompt at 11:15, just to honor everyone's time, for them to know what to expect. But we dismiss the kids kind of mid-service. And then at 11:15, like the sole focus is two things: connecting with people and resetting the venue. And that's really, if you've ever noticed, I try not to touch chairs after the service so that I can not touch people, so that I can connect with people, so that I can touch their heart. Somebody who's listening online is like, oh my gosh. So what does it look like this morning? We've got a few minutes. So here's what we're asking you to do. The next steps is you see on the bar, we've got sign-up sheets all over it. We've got descriptions. Everything that was on the slide behind you is on the bar. You can read it again. You can think about it. You can pray about it. But we need you to sign up. And here's why. Because we need some info from you. Because we're going to be using an app or a website called Planning Center to make our schedules, to remind people, hey, you're signed up to greet this Sunday. You'll get an email. And that's it. And you have an app to see. You can also sign yourself up, choose your own dates on it. For those of you who don't like additional technology steps, I'm with you. But I just don't see how we can continue to grow and get organized without some of these things. And we're going to figure out a way to do it best and right for us. So we've got a few team captains this morning. Jackson is going to be team captain for prayer this morning. Lancey's going to be team captain for greeters. Maggie is going to be team captain for city kids. Let me look at my list here. Is anybody else a captain that I talked to in advance? Q is going to be a captain for a venue crew. I'll be the captain for readers. Garrett will be the captain for technology. And Maggie will also be Maggie will be the captain for coffee as well. All that to say, would you stand to your feet? Let's have a prayer, and then we're going to move towards the bar and get signed up, meet with captains, answer Q&A. If you need some training, like now's the time to train, even on the fly or quickly, or they may have some specific vision to add about that area. And then we're going to really just continue to try to add people to our teams so that everyone can get involved in the ministry of City Church and make an impact. So Jesus, we just say thank you for that in your kingdom, everyone is on the field and is an important piece of what you're doing in the earth. There's no sideline Christians. There's no second-class Christians. There's no one that does not have a ministry. Thank you that you choose the unlikely, the long shots, the last, the lost, the least, and you redeem us, and you restore us, and you give us gifts, and you give us grace, and you give us your Spirit. So we just pray this morning that we could step forward into this next phase of impactful ministry as a church. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay.